This is Yosei Sakura, the cherry blossom fairy of positivity. And tonight, like I said in my post, it's going to be a little bit different than my usual stream. Instead of playing the game, although if I have time after I'm done this, I might play for a little while, I'm not sure. But I've been meaning to get another installment in my kaiju series done, and I figured since I'm really struggling to be able to get a video out there on its own, that I would just stream it live. So here we go. And I wanted to welcome everyone to my next installment of the Godzilla Kaiju series. Now, in this video, I will be covering the films that are included in the Showa era, which is from 1954 through 1975. The films that I will be listing are from a Blu-ray collection called the Showa Era Films, 1954 to 1975. It also is known as the Criterion Collection. Now, this is a special edition collector set of 15 classic kaiju movies, which have Godzilla in them, and many will have Godzilla along with showcasing other great kaiju as well. As you can see in the background, this is the original Godzilla. And I will be listing these films in chronological order. Now, the Godzilla you see behind you is from the 1954 Godzilla, aka Gojira. This is the granddaddy of all kaiju movies. The original Godzilla, 1954, was created in a time when Japan was trying to recover from being bombed in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And they were still understandably shaken from the bombings. And they were struggling to find a way to cope with what had happened. And this poignant film was Japan's way of trying to understand and work through their fears of all the possible effects that might be experienced from these events and from the severe radiation. Godzilla and some of the other kaiju during this time would go on to become heroes, often working to help save the Earth from other threats. Now, in 1955, Godzilla raids again. Toho created this sequel after the great success of the original Godzilla. This film was also directed by Motoyoshi Oda and was a drama about two kaiju monsters. This film would introduce the idea of kaiju versus kaiju and had Godzilla going against Anguirus, a spiny turtle-like kaiju. I will be able to have that picture up in just a moment. This is also the 1954. This is Anguirus. Right here. And as you can see, it is a fearsome looking kaiju. It starts out with a pilot, crashing into the ocean. But before he does, he sees two kaiju on a fight on the deserted island that he is eventually rescued from. The two kaiju crash into the sea while fighting, and eventually their conflict finds its way to the streets of Osaka. The conflict between Godzilla and Anguirus was evident in the fight scenes between the two. It is remarkable to see the elaborate movements that the two men in the kaiju suits would be able to perform. There were even more elaborate sets produced than for the original Godzilla film. And these sets would go on to suffer extreme destruction from the kaiju. And this is a classic and a must-see for any Godzilla fan. Now, unlike the recent ones, which are Western versions, the original King Kong vs. Godzilla was in 1963. In this movie, also directed by Ishiro Honda, the kaiju King Kong was discovered on a remote island, what we in the West would later call Skull Island. And events set him on a path that leads to Japan and Godzilla. It's a wonderful kaiju film, and it helped to ensure the future of Godzilla in both the Eastern and Western film markets, as both the Japanese and US versions were tremendous hits for their time. This was the first Godzilla movie that did not have a dark theme. In my opinion, this film was meant to be more lighthearted and almost whimsical. Don't get me wrong, though, there is strong evidence of the grudge that these two kaiju have for one another. But it is a very enjoyable film. It also continued the practice of having men in kaiju suits playing the parts of Godzilla and Kong, which, in my opinion, is still amazing, especially given the weight and the temperature that it can reach inside those heavy costumes. Now, Mothra versus Godzilla, 1964. Now, Mothra is in a tie in my eyes with Godzilla for which is the greatest kaiju. But that's just a personal preference. And I mean the old Mothra, the big fluffy fuzzy one. You'll see her coming up in just a second. There was King Kong. And see, you can see here with these motions, just imagine what it must have been like to be in those suits when you're destroying the sets like that. And those suits were extremely hot, and there was no fans in those suits at the time. Now here she is. Mothra is by far up there. She is one of my favorites, her and Godzilla, like I said before. Now this film is truly one of my favorites because it has two of my favorite kaiju, like I said before, Godzilla and Mothra. And I have seen every Mothra movie ever made. And she and Godzilla are tied as to which one is my favorite, like I said before, because they each have aspects of being protectors and peacemakers that I enjoy, but they are both extremely strong and extremely persistent once they get started. This movie was also directed by Ishiro Honda. I don't like to mispronounce his name. Mothra is the most benevolent kaiju there is, though. She is a beautiful moth-like kaiju who will continue to help protect the earth and those she loves throughout many generations. This is the last movie in which Godzilla will be portrayed as a malevolent creature going up against Mothra. Now, in future movies, Godzilla will become a fearsome hero who tries desperately to protect the earth from other destructive kaiju. Now, in the background there, you can see Mothra in her larval form. You can see Godzilla. And then you can see Ghidorah. And King Ghidorah from Ghidorah, the three-headed monster in 1964, was also directed by Ishiro Honda, with the special effects being done by Eiji Tsuburaya. In this film, Rodan, a pterodactyl-like kaiju, and Godzilla are battling one another, while Mothra, in her larval stage, is the one trying to get them to stop. Now, the three kaiju will need to work together to combat a new threat from outer space, King Ghidorah, the three-headed monster who obliterated an alien civilization on Venus. And now, in this film, he has set his sights on Earth. This lightning-spitting kaiju will surely put the other three through their paces. This is the first movie where Godzilla takes on a new role. As said before, now he has taken on the role of defender of the Earth. And it's a wonderful film, and I would highly recommend it to any kaiju or Godzilla fan. The 1965 Invasion of Astro Monster was also directed by none other than Ishiro Honda and featured the American star Nick Adams. In this film, aliens from a planet called X offer to provide the world with the cure for all diseases in exchange for using Rodan and Godzilla to defeat King Ghidorah. But the world soon realizes that they are using the three kaiju to try to conquer Earth. And this is another fun film from the Showa era collection. It has its moments of being intense, very intense with the fight scenes, the way they're choreographed. But there is a kind of a fun nature to this film as well. And also, the next two films were directed by a different director. They were directed by Jun Fukuda and are more fast-paced and lighthearted. These right here. That monster right there, the crustacean-looking giant shrimp-type kaiju, is Ibira, Horror of the Deep, from 1967. Godzilla and Mothra must combat the kaiju crustacean. Like I said, this and the next film are more fast-paced and more fun-loving. They're more just like feel-good movies. They're more lighthearted. The next one is another favorite of mine. It's also from 1967, and it's the son of Godzilla. Now, in this film, Godzilla shows a more paternal side when he's trying to rescue a baby kaiju called Manila. Excuse me. He's trying to rescue him from giant insects, which are the result of weather control experiments and the resultant radiation storm. It also addresses concerns about worldwide food shortages. This installment is more comedic in nature and shows the wonderful wire work that the special effects team was able to accomplish. The next slide will show, here he is, little Manila. And this is, if you get a chance to see it, this is a more light-hearted and comedic type film. It is very good. Now, Destroy All Monsters came out in 1968. And this movie is kaiju filled with about 11 or so monsters in it. And it is a wonderful film, loved by many. It brought back the original director of Godzilla, Ishiro Honda, and special effects man Eiji Tsuburaya. He brought them back together again along with original composer Akira Ifukube. The film set in the distant future, in a time where the world had achieved world peace, and all kaiju were on what was named at the time Monster Island. Now, the movies from 1969 to 1973 were mostly kid-centered, but are a lot of fun to watch and have some really good stories for their time. Now, they include... Here, hold on. This is Gigan, right here. The 1969 movie was the first All Monsters Attack was the first one that made expressly for children by Ishiro Honda, and tells the story of a lonely kid who finds comfort in his imagination about befriending Manila. Let's go back to Manila to remind you. Here you go. And it tells a story of what it is to grow up. There is also Godzilla vs. Hedorah, a somewhat lesser film from 1971, which addresses the pollution levels in post-war Japan. And that is where we get this monster. This is a humorous film that also addresses ecological issues of the time in a more satirical way to make it more accepted by the public at large of that time. Now, as you can see here, this is Gigan. Godzilla vs. Gigan came out in 1972. Now, Godzilla, along with another protector of Earth, Anguirus, battle King Ghidorah and a new kaiju, Gigan. In this film, aliens have invaded the Earth and are wanting to use these kaiju to help them take it over. Now, this is also a unique looking kaiju, because if you look at his... I don't even really know how to describe them. They're kind of like hooks, maybe, that he has for hands and arms. He's got the spikes, but they're just so cool to look at. They all look so cool. Now here, 1973, Godzilla vs. Megalon. A giant beetle is released by an undersea society that has suffered destruction due to a nuclear testing and teams up with Gigan. So you have Gigan and Megalon teaming up. The brother of the main character creates a morally centered robot to team up with Godzilla named Jet Jaguar. Do I have a picture? No, I do not have a picture of Jet Jaguar. But the robot Jet Jaguar is able to defeat them. Now, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, 1974. Mechagodzilla first appeared in this Jun Fukuda directed film. It is a robot version of Godzilla created by aliens to help them conquer Earth. And have you noticed the theme here? A lot of times aliens are trying to conquer Earth. This is a truly exciting battle between Godzilla and his mechanical counterpart, and the film also has some wonderful pyrotechnics and recaptures the feel of the Godzilla movies made in the 1960s. Now, in 1975, there is terror of Mechagodzilla. In Godzilla's last gasp of the Showa era, aliens retrieve Mechagodzilla's remains and rebuild it with the aid of an unhinged biologist, in hopes of defeating Godzilla for possession of planet Earth. This film marked the return of director Ishida Honda, who had retired years earlier, disheartened by the increasingly kid-friendly approach of the series. For this final entry, Honda steers the King of the Monsters back into grim territory, interweaving an alien invasion plot with a tale of tragic romance. This is the film that brought Godzilla back to the grim nature that first made him loved and feared. It has Ishida Honda as its director, who came out, like I said, from retirement. These films, all the films in the Showa era collection, are just so wonderful. And they're a great addition to any kaiju or Godzilla lovers collection. Now, when I do finally post this, I will be putting it up with a link so that you can get more information about the Showa era collection or the Criterion collection, whichever way you choose to look it up. But it is a wonderful collection. It's a lot of fun. It's full of a lot of history when you look at the development and the progression of the kaiju monsters and Godzilla and the different, how do I put it? The different interactions between all the kaiju. You can see different relationships coming about, like where Mothra and Godzilla have this really tight bond, and Mothra seems to always be able to talk Godzilla down, so to speak, when he gets out of control. Mothra can bring him back to do what he needs to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did creating it. I just wanted to get it out there so that at least you got a little bit of background on some of these wonderful, wonderful films. Again, sorry about any scuffs in the stream, but I wanted to get it out there because me waiting until I could just do a fully polished video to upload it just kept getting pushed back, and I wanted it to be out there. I do have other collections of Godzilla movies that in 2026 I am slating to make more polished reviews of the movies in there. So I hope you will look forward to that as well. Now, in a little bit, I will be changing over to Afterimage so that I can stream that for a little while. So until then, I will have you just with my be right back screen while I switch everything over. So hold on just a few minutes. Okay, here we go. We are back. Now we are going to try to do some extra stuff in Afterimage. Here we go. Let's see what kind of things we can locate or discover tonight. We have blue gel. Oosh. There we go. This necklace. Let's see what this will do for us. Oh, do we already have this? Yes, we do. So. Okay. Got that. about the exiled again. Oh, wait. Because we had found a new thing last time that we need to try to get back to. Oh, we got a flow cutter. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. Let's go there. There we go. gotta go down. There, then we need to go up. Okay. There, because that one we've already done, and then there's another. Done that. Let's see, maybe if we go to Emerald Falls. Well, let's try Field of Geo. See if we can't get some more stuff exposed on this map. Let's go back again. Okay, we got another flower. Let's see where we are on the map. Aha! Let's see where we are. Let's see. Where are we again? Oh, there, that's where we've been. Okay, we're finding some more. So we need to go up. Okay, we are making more progress. We are getting some new stuff in here. Here we go. Okay. Okay, cannot go any further. Ah, okay. Okay, we are here. We're getting more new stuff, more new areas. This is where we have been before. We have to figure out a way to get up. I think I am going to let it stop right here, chap, because we have made some good progress tonight. I think we've done really well. I hope that everyone continues to have a wonderful evening and that you will have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And if you are anywhere in the path of the impending snowstorm, please stay warm, stay safe, be careful if you must go outside, and I hope that everyone continues to be happy, healthy, and that you have wonderful, blessed days. Have a wonderful night.